Clint Songok. I work at NASCOP City. So as we begin, I want to request a volunteer. I know a few of us have a mic who can be able to speak. I don't know whether Lillian or Emily who is in a position to pray for us as we begin. Emily, can you lead us in out of prayer? Emily Bosibori.
Okay,
kindly.
Thank you, Sangok. Thank you. Let us pray. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we thank you. We worship you, mighty Jehovah, King of Kings. We thank you, Father, even for this session. We pray that, Father, we in Jehovah, King of Kings, to be with us, that it shall be a productive session, Almighty God, to the glory and honor of your name, mighty Jehovah God. We thank you and we appreciate you. In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed. Amen.
All right. Thank you very much, Emily, for leading, for opening for us with a word of prayer. So I think we can then begin our training today. Like I said, we'll be focusing on Ushauri. So we will have one presentation, and then after the presentation, we will be able to be taken through a demo, a walkthrough of the Ushauri platform. I know it may not be very new to some of us. Some of us may probably have interacted with it, but however, there's no harm for us to repeat so that we are able to comprehend and exactly understand how best can we be able to take advantage of this solution to enable us carry out this particular exercise, especially in the paper-based sites where we still have a few challenges. So Victor will take us through the first presentation, and then after that, Cosmas will walk us through the platform, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. And finally, if there are any AOBs, we will be able to address that. So before Victor comes in, I can see he's already shared his screen. Before Victor comes in, kindly allow me to welcome Faith Ngare from NASCOP to just make a few remarks on behalf of NASCOP. However, we will be expecting Dr. Amadeva to join us at some point. So I don't know, Faith, whether you are in a position to speak. Kindly, you could go ahead and make a few remarks as we begin. Faith. Faith, your hand is up. I don't know whether you can go ahead and speak.
So good afternoon, everyone. Songok, confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, Faith. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I put up my hand to say I didn't have a mic, but now I have. So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity to learn more about Ushauri. I really don't think I have much to say because you have already been given a highlight of why we are here, is to learn about this little step that we took a while ago about the Ushauri platform, which was basically a messaging platform. But thanks to technology, in our meeting today, you're going to see more areas in which Ushauri can be able to assist us in terms of even service delivery at our health facilities. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for taking this opportunity to join the meeting. And I think the gospel that we want to preach is that, yes, I know we already have EMRs that are sitting in our site, but again, we also want to utilize the other applications that we are currently running to be able to extend our services in our facilities. And so the Ushauri platform is one of such. And I do not want to pour out what the good news that the team is going to share with you, so that you can be able to see that Ushauri will not just be a platform for messaging and sharing messages to our clients, but it can as well be able to do much more than we thought. And we really want to appreciate the team behind this good work for thinking beyond us and ensuring that even with small gadgets like phones, and tablets, we can be able to achieve more of the HIS space in ensuring that we continue offering services electronically. So karibuni sana everybody, and I really wish each and every one of us a fruitful session. Thank you, and back to you, Sango.
Thank you very much, Faith, for the remarks. So without wasting much time, I want to welcome Victor Were, who will be able to take us through the first presentation. After that, Cosmas, you will prepare to quickly take us through or walk us through the app itself, so that we are able to appreciate and clearly understand the content and how to go about this particular exercise we're calling verification. Of course, apart from the other features that is available within Ushauri. So Victor, you can go ahead, introduce yourself and take us through the first presentation. Thank you and karibu.
Thank you, Songok. Confirm if you can be able to hear me.
Yes, I can hear you and I can see your screen. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I'll take us through a few slide deck on Ushauri, introductory slide deck. And then my colleague Cosmas will take us through the demonstration. So in terms of the slide deck, this is the outline. So we have the introduction, just a brief on what the MOH National Unique Identifier is. And then we'll go into the overview of Ushauri, go through the process flow that is currently in Ushauri. We'll also go through the features that are current in Ushauri. We'll further see the UPI verification feature, and then I'll talk about the deployment requirements and approaches that you can have for a site to be activated to use Ushauri, and then I'll finalize with the value proposition that we have using Ushauri, and then my colleague will finalize with a demonstration. In terms of the MOH National Unique Identifier, so Ministry of Health has set up a client registry, and for this client registry, patients are now required to routinely provide national identifiers like national ID during the clinical visit, and from this, the identifiers are actually used to authenticate the identity of the patients who visit both EMR and non-EMR sites. And as a requirement from this, then MOH is able to issue an MOH NUPI number that is used to identify duplication. This MOH NUPI number is actually issued at the site level and uploaded at the National Data Warehouse. Some of us know what National Data Warehouse is, which sits at the as a repository for the various for the clients who are currently on ART. From that, actually, if you look at the diagram on the left side, then both the EMR and the paper sites are able to push the personal identifiable information to the national registry, and they're issued with a NUPI number that is able to identify or uniquely identify the patients who are seen within the various facilities. Just looking at the implementation of the brief on the implementation of the National Unique Identifier, or the NUPI. So we have the National Client Registry, as I've mentioned, and the health services which are within the sites, whether EMR or paper-based sites. So between these, the EMR and the paper-based sites are able to push personal identified information to the national registry, and from that, then they're able to be issued with a unique MOH NUPI number that is able to identify the patient. And some of the initial use cases that the NUPI implementation is supporting, it's currently for EMR sites. We're able to upload patients on ART. I think some of us who are in this meeting already have done that. Verification of all the patients by attaching the NUPI number, and then we're also able to update the personal information of the patients to be able to cross-match across the various systems. The output is to ensure that all the ART patients are identified and verified. For the non-EMR sites or the paper-based sites, there's been some undertaking on verification using a web-based approach, and all ART patients' records to be identified by the MOH UPI number, which is also attached to them. So the other use cases beyond the ART validation, these basically be able to ensure that clients who are taking up services in multiple or tests in multiple sites are identified through the unique identifiers. Again, self or silent transfers, because you can be able to map and identify the clients. So we'll be able to identify patients or clients who actually have had self or silent transfers. Patients, again, who are receiving services in multiple sites are also be able to identify and to ensure that we don't have duplications. The other area is towards cross-cutting or service linkages. This forms a foundation to support attaining a shared health record service, as well as the potential of benefiting across service areas within and beyond the facilities. Going down now into what Ushauri is. So Ushauri is a mobile and a web-based platform that is developed with the objective of ensuring that we're able to provide timely and reliable messages, including appointment reminders, treatment adherence messages, and wellness messages. This platform also provides for an electronic appointment diary, as well as a default tracing module, to ensure that you're able to manage the patients at the various facilities. So this diagram shows the process flow, the current process flow, and looking at this area where the care and treatment team within the facility are able to add a client. They're also able to book a client for an appointment, trace all the defaulters using a mobile device. And from this, once a client has been booked for an appointment, then an SMS reminder is sent to the client. And we also have for the client to come to the facility in the said date. The system is also able to send out wellness messages. And for those who have missed, they are also sent messages, as well as the system is also able to perform default tracing and SMS messages and actions for various defaulters who actually, the patients who have defaulted. In addition, for all the registered patients, the system can alert the providers if they are not doing well through the wellness messages, and they're also able to receive health awareness text, and it also has a capability of the facilities sending out broadcast messages for important program updates. For example, it was used in the COVID-19 vaccination just to sensitize the clients to come into the facilities or to be able to take up their COVID vaccinations. At the stakeholders level, the stakeholders and the various partners are able to access programmatic dashboards. My colleague will be able to show you this is for decision making. So looking at the various features, so we have a number of features within Ushauri. So we have client registration. Client registration basically is able to capture the client registration information. And as my colleague Songok has mentioned, we have added UPI verification as a feature during the client registration module, so that you're able to verify the UPI status, as well as request for an UPI number for the clients. We have an appointment diary. For the appointment diary allows the user to be able to book and schedule clients' appointments within the required schedule. We also have a client tracing module, which ensures that the users or the healthcare workers within the facilities are able to document the various tracing efforts, cost, and outcome. The PMTCT module enables the users to pair the appointments for the mother and child, as well as pair the hair appointments to the caregiver. Again, my colleague will be able to show you these features. For the DSD module, it facilitates for the long appointment for the stable clients for month 3 and month 6. On the messaging functionalities basically allows for sending out the reminders. The reminders are sent out day 7 and day 1, sending out wellness messages, and as well as having a functionalities for the users to be able to, or the facility to be able to broadcast messages to their clients. We also have programmatic dashboards that allows for real-time access to the various reports for decision making. Looking at the UPI verification feature, so as I earlier mentioned, we have revamped the client registration, as you've seen in the demo, to allow for verification of existing clients, where you'll be able to request or get the UPI number for an existing client, as well as by providing the national identification numbers, like for birth certificate for the under 18 and national ID for the over 18, and request an UPI number, as well as these also include for new clients. And you can see from the screenshots on this other side. I think you'll be able to see this further during the demonstration by my colleague. Just talking about the Ushauri deployment requirements and approaches. So Ushauri, as I mentioned, is a mobile application. So we'll need tablets or mobile devices, and it's Android based, which is available on Play Store. Can be downloaded if you search, if you go to the Play Store and search Ushauri, then you'll be able to download and install it in your device. You also require internet access or data bundles or airtime to be able to access to interact with the application. For the non-EMR sites, you're able to upload the clients using this template using the Ushauri web, where you can be able to upload the client list, line list, or again through the entry or direct entry through the mobile client registration form. For the EMR sites, we have done integration where these two systems are working within a site. So through IL, Kenya EMR is able to push the client list, as well as there's also a Kenya EMR Ushauri module that has also been introduced for the EMR sites. Just looking at the value proposition and the features. The first one on the electronic diary, the existence of electronic diary. So this actually gears towards attaining paperless client registers. So you're able to get rid of the manual registers. It also has the UPI verification feature, which allows you to continue doing UPI verification for new clients and existing clients. Next, we have the tracing module, which allows and gives you ability to document evidence of the various tracing costs, the various tracing efforts, as well as the outcome for the clients tracing that have been traced. For the reminders, these you're able to send out the appointment reminders and wellness messages, and as a means of attaining appointment keeping and ensuring that appointments are kept in time. For PMTCT and DSD, you're able to track and pair the appointments for both mothers and child. And for DSD, you're able to manage the appointments for DSD clients. Last but not least, we have the programmatic dashboards that ensures that you are able to have access to real-time programmatic reports for decision making. Thank you, and we'll now have demonstration by Court. Over to you, Sambok.
Thank you very much, Victor, for the slide deck. I think this was very, very important so that the participants already have an understanding and a high-level understanding of what to expect as we prepare to do the demo. So it's important to appreciate the fact that there are very nice features that have been enhanced within the Ushauri platform. And currently, I think there've been high-level discussions on ensuring that we can also leverage on the PMCTC module within Ushauri to be able to monitor the mother and the baby as a pair, and all the other features that are currently in place. So we are appealing to the team to take advantage of this and ensure that, because this is part of our rallying call to be able to scale up EMR, and more specifically to sites that probably may not have the resources to probably purchase the hardwares, do the networking and all that stuff. What you only need is you need a phone which is Android enabled, which most of our phones are, and the app is available in the Play Store, just like Victor as mentioned or as alluded to. Right. So let's hold on to our questions. However, if you okay typing, then you can go ahead and type your questions on the chat box. There's a team who will be able to respond to any of your questions. But just in case you want to verbalize your questions, you can hold on to the end. We will have a Q&A just before we close our session. So without much ado, allow me to welcome Cosmas Kote, who will be able to take us through the demo. Cosmas, over to you. Over to you, Cosmas, if you can hear me.
Thanks, Sangok. So just a minute, let me connect my device again. Right. So I'm guessing everyone, Sangok, confirm you can be able to see my screen?
Yes, Cosmos, I can see your screen and I can hear you loud and clear. Please proceed.
Great. So again, my name is Cosmos Kote, and hi to Said Kote. There's a guy called Said Kote. I don't know whether we're related, but we can find out that later. So let me just jump into the presentation quickly. I'd shared a link for anyone who would like to just walk with me through this process. So you can be able to download the application if you've seen that link, and we can continue from there. So upon downloading the application, the first step, of course, is to be able to create an account. So this account has to be mapped to your facility. So how this happens, you have to contact your partner, or through support from Palladium team here, you can also be able to just get your facility mapped, and then you can be able to start the process. So you, of course, will require to enter a phone number. So I've provided a phone number for just training purposes for this. So then you can also add your username, your password, confirm your password. So if your password is 12345, my hint can be 125, 1-5 or something, so that I can be able to remember that in case I forget my password. Yeah. So let me just jump into the app itself. Let me just jump into the app itself. So once I've created an account, for me, I've already created an account. I can come in and just start now the process of logging in. So I'll type in my password, then click on login, and then it will bring me to this landing page. On the landing page, important bit is at the very top, there's a help desk number. It's a free toll number in case you have any issues, you have any concerns, you need your facility to be mapped, you can be able to call that number and they'll quickly assist you. Then after that, we have some overview in terms of the application of the modules. So we have a module on appointment diary. We have another module on default diary, and I'll be able to just go through them quickly. Then we have the PMTCT module. We have an MLab link to be able to get the MLab application. Then we have a web dashboard link to be able to take you to the web dashboard for the Ushauri. And then we have wellness check-in messages, which now are responses from the clients, whether they're doing well or not. And then we have a reschedule module where you can be able to reschedule an appointment in case you make a mistake. So let me just get into the appointment diary. And this is what we have on the appointment diary. I'll talk about some new features to expect that we are working on, but what will be currently on will be on the current application you've downloaded will be the today's appointment, which will be able to give you all the list of clients who are coming in today. We have something that we're excited to be able to introduce later. This is an appointment calendar, which you should be able to see all the future appointments that are coming up, all the list of people who you should be expecting, maybe from tomorrow, maybe from the day after tomorrow, from your app as there. Then of course we have a client registration where you can be able to register a client. We have consent client. This is used whenever you've registered a client, but at the point of enabling SMS, you didn't enable an SMS for them to receive, so you can come back here and consent them. Then we have appointment booking module where you can be able to book appointments, one appointment per client. DSD provides now the ability to be able to book an appointment for a client, 2 appointments. So you can be able to book an appointment for clinical, let's say, for example, or a refill, and then the other one for VL investigation or sample taking. So you can be able to, of course, give them a longer period in terms of appointments. Then we have a client transfer where you can be able to transfer a client from one facility to your facility. So let's say, for example, this is customers. I've shown up at your facility, but I belong to another facility, but I want to start receiving my services from your facility. Then you can be able to do that from this specific module. Then we have the transit client, and the transit client basically will be able to engage in terms of moving, just giving a service to a client. They've came for drugs, you can be able to record that. Then we have clinic movement, which allows you to be able to move a client from one clinic to another. So let me just jump into the today's appointment. So on today's appointment, again, I'll be able to see the list of people that I'm supposed to see them today on this material day. So it will list all the clients. As you can see, I only have currently one client, their name, their appointment type, their phone number, the date, and then this file serial number. Then I can confirm. So the moment I click on confirm, what happens is now I can be able to give them a new appointment type. And then you can also ask me whether the client is on DSD or not. If I say the client is on DSD, it would be able to take me to the module for DSD so that I can give them more than one appointment. If I say they're not on DSD, I'll just continue and I'll just give them one specific appointment date, which can be in the future. So that's how you're able to capture information for an appointment for a client who has shown up today in your facility. Using the today's appointment, you can be able to do that. So again, there is a button here, whether it's usually it's red or pink. I don't know from whichever side you're looking at it from, but that button basically allows you to be able to request for a list of today's appointment when you click on it. And then of course you can be able to continue the process of either you can search. If you have more than one client, of course you can use the search functionality at the very top just to search for that specific client using their CCC number or their name or their phone number or their serial file number. Basically, you can use any of these specifics when it comes to searching. So that is for today's appointment. Moving on quickly. So I said about the new feature that we are hoping to be able to, of course, provide in some few weeks later, but this should be able to give you the list of the clients on a specific day. When you click, it will be able to populate for that for you, and then of course you can be able to just know and plan well and better in terms of how best to be able to give those services to your client. Then I'll jump into the client registration. And the client registration will be able to just capture information about a client. And this is where now, in terms of either you are registering a new client, either you're transferring a client from a facility that does not use Ushauri. Apologies for that. Apologies for that. Apologies. So either you're registering a client from a facility that is not using Ushauri, but if at any point it is activated on Ushauri, basically what it means is that when they are trying to capture that client as a new client at their facility, they'll get just a nod and to tell them that basically this client is already existing and you should not try to enroll them again. So it will take them to the transfer in client module that I had shown earlier. So this basically means that then I can also be able to update a client by typing in, of course, their details in case something has changed. Maybe they're married now, they are no longer use the last name that you registered with them with, so they're using a new name, or their phone number has changed. So you can be able to just come and update that information. Then there's the consent client, where I can consent, of course, the client, pick their language and the date and preferred timing. So if the client prefers to get in the middle of the night in terms of their messaging for appointment reminders, or all messages that are coming from Ushauri, except for the broadcast will actually happen at the time that it has been broadcasted. But in case there's any system messages that are coming from Ushauri to the client, they can choose a specific time and they will receive it at that time. Then, of course, we have the book appointment. Again, like I said, this one allows you just to be able to book one specific appointment, and you can be able to submit that. Then we have the DSD, which now allows you to be able to capture an appointment for a client, more than one. So you ensure that you type in a specific client, you check, then you go through the process in terms of saying whether they're stable or they're not stable, whether they're on DSD or not. Then, of course, either they're new or they're continuing. Then which kind of model do you want? Is it community-based? If it's community-based, is it peer-led community-based? Then once you've done all that, you can be able to now do a refill and a clinical review. Again, your client has to be in care for 1 year and above. So if I was to probably try to give a DSD for a client who's less than a year in terms of care, since they started the ART, again, it will not allow me because there's some logic and, of course, some validations that is done in the background. Then, of course, I can also do the client transfer. Like, again, I can type in the full CCC number for the client and submit, and then I'll be able to pull all their data to specifically to my facility. Then we have the transit client. The transit client, again, is just a client who has come to your facility to pick drugs. They're not there to stay. So once you've captured their details and submit, the mother facility should receive a notification to tell them that their client came to your facility with the MFL code of your facility. And then there's another application that, of course, we won't talk about it. It's called ART Directory. They can use that to be able to now pinpoint details about their client, what kind of services did they receive, and also confirm that actually their client actually visited the facility that they claimed to. Then, of course, also we have the clinic movement, where you're just moving a client from within the same clinic to another clinic. So maybe PMTCT, maybe adolescent clinic, maybe TB HIV, or the PSCO, which is the CCC basically. So that's pretty much when it comes to the appointment diary. So I'll move a little bit fast because I want to come back and now just spend some bit of time on the client registration. So I just want to go over with the other modules quickly, and then I can come back and just spend some bit of time on client registration because of the NUPI functionality. Then there's the defaulted diary. Again, here it allows me to see all the clients who are supposed to come today. Let's say, for example, tomorrow reaches, I can get a list of all the clients who were meant to come, but they did not make it to the facility. Then it allows me to be able to track, and of course, to be able to document my efforts. So I can say that I actually call this Mark guy, and I made a phone call to them, or I made a home visit to them. I can come here and confirm and say the date that I actually did a home visit to them if it was needed. Then, of course, I can be able to say whether I contacted the client or did not contact the client. What was the final outcome? Did they return to care? or they refused. So if I say they returned to care, it will ask me for the date that the client returned and the next appointment date. Then of course I can select which kind of appointment are they coming for. Then also I can be able to capture who traced this client and what was the cost in terms of tracing this client. Then I can submit that. If I say they've not returned to care, for example, let's say, for example, I say they've declined care. Again, it will just now reduce the information I need to capture and just capture the tracer's name and tracing cost, and the client will not be removed from this list. So they will stay on this list until the client has been returned to care. Then, of course, there is the defaulted. This one now will transition the client in case when the missed status after 7 days have elapsed. In case you've not managed to return the client back to care, they will just be pushed to now the defaulted status, where now, of course, now you still have to do the same interventions in terms of calling, in terms of home visits, and you can be able to continue through that process. Then, of course, at the end of the day, if nothing has happened in terms of returning that client to care, of course, now they'll be pushed to IIT, which is loss to follow up, former loss to follow up, IIT, where now, of course, still you'll be able to give some documentation about the client. So here now you can be able to say maybe you contacted the informant of the client, you didn't contact maybe the client, so you contacted maybe informant, and whenever you click on the contact client, it will take you to your phone where you can be able to make a phone call. As you can see, I've done that. If you click on call, it will take you directly to your phone application for making phone calls, and you can make a phone call from there. So jumping back here, if I confirm, maybe I can say now here, now it allows me to say informant contacted. What is the final outcome? Maybe sorry guys, I do not know why it keeps dropping off. When things are very hot, it keeps dropping off. Sorry for that. Let me jump back to it again. I have a few minutes, so I'll be done and out of your way in a couple of minutes. So bear with me as I quickly get this going. Right. So if I was to say that the client declined care, of course, I don't have any other options. But now, as you can see, because I've contacted the informant, I can see also the option for deceased. In the previous, we were not having that because a client cannot report themselves as dead. So we expect that information to only come from the informant. So that's the process in terms of defaulter tracing and capturing that information. Again, all this information is analyzed and now put into reports, which we'll see whether we'll have the time to be able to go through that. But quickly, and let me jump into the PMTCT module. The PMTCT module primarily is there for the care for the baby and the mother, just to be able to pair them together for their appointments, and also to make sure that at the end of the day, that this baby, we can be able to report them as negative. If unfortunately they become positive, of course, now there's a way they can transition them to get now care from the CCC. Now, the process of doing this basically now is you can start by hair registration. Hair registration now, how you do this is by typing in a CCC number of a mother that is existing within your facility. And this is, we assuming that the mother is already positive and probably pregnant or probably breastfeeding or not breastfeeding. So you can be able to choose those options. So let me just type this mother and see how it goes. So when I click on check, then it will be able to, of course, give me the options whether I can say they're breastfeeding or they're not breastfeeding or they're pregnant or they're not, it's not applicable. So if I say they're breastfeeding, yes, of course, now it will allow me to be able to capture this information of the hay, and then I can be able to, what happens once you submit, they're paired with the mother. Already the mother is already existing in the system, so we don't need to do any registration for the mother, but now we are registering the hay and pairing them to the mother, all right? So that's the process. Then, of course, there's a registered caregiver in case the baby has no the parent is not there available to be able to take care of them. So you can also be able to just pair them to a caregiver. Again, this is specifically to make sure that there's a way to be able to contact the caregiver to make sure that the baby is coming in time in terms for their PCR, for their appointments. So pretty much this will also just pick the same information when it comes to the hay, and then of course for the caregiver will pick the phone number. Then now we have the part where now we have update hay. In case maybe I've entered like a wrong hay number. Let's say, for example, do I have a hay? Let me see this. I think I should have. Yes, in case I've entered wrong details about a hay, I can be able to come here, enter the details. Then of course now I can make some changes. So maybe I can say this one I want to the middle name is maybe Hustler, for example. Again, this is just an example. Then I can be able to submit that, and I've been able to successfully update that information on the system. So if I that's for the update here. Now going to the mother appointment. So here now allows me to pair an appointment between the mom and the baby. So I can type in the mother's again CCC number. So let me try this and see what happens. So it can be able to give me all the hays, as you can see, that are registered under this mother. So we can see if those, yes. So there was a Robert John Anthony. We remember we changed them to a Robert Hustler Anthony, if you can remember very well. So you can be able to choose whichever basically hay that you want to pair an appointment for the mother with, and by clicking no or yes in terms of their PCR, then saying the specific date that they need to come, and then of course whether they're coming for a lab investigation, you can choose whichever specific appointment type basically you want to give this specific baby and the mother. Then we have the bit of where now you can give a hay, only a specific hay in terms of their appointment only. So this one now, either the caregiver or the mother will receive that appointment reminder message. If I was to give an appointment maybe like on the 31st, then click OK and say the appointment type maybe is a clinical review, then say the PCR is not yet taken, then I can be able to submit that. So the mother will receive the appointment message reminder. Again, how this appointment message reminders work is 1 week before the appointment, they will receive that reminder. A day before that appointment they're supposed to come for, they'll also receive another reminder. So there are two reminders that go to the mother or to any person who has an appointment within the system. As we can see, then there's unscheduled hay. So this is in case the hay and the mother just showed up in your facility, you can capture them. So why is it important? It's important because we want to, of course, we want to mark the upcoming appointment for this hay as done. If maybe they came earlier, so you probably gave them all the services that they needed for the next appointment that you had scheduled. So now you give them another appointment on another day, so that now they don't have to come as sooner than expected if they've already come earlier and you've given them all the services. Then we have the positive PCR enrollment here. Again, and unfortunate where the baby becomes positive, you can be able to capture their details. Again, you type in the specific hay number that you want to search for. So once you've searched for it, as you can see, it will be able to ask you for the client status, whether you can say now that on ART, then you can give them a clinic number. You can say the date that you've enrolled them, the ART start date. Okay, seems like it has frozen. Songok, can you hear me? I hope it's only my screen that has frozen.
Yes, I can hear you, Kote, but yeah, you're right. Your screen is frozen. So I don't know whether you could, I don't know what you can do. You could exit and then.
Yeah, let me just exit quickly. I don't know why. Today seems like this laptop doesn't like me that much.
But it happens with technology.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Okay, coming up quickly.
So you could try and push faster so that we can go to the we can go to the verification bit.
Yes. I want to quickly do that. Right. So sorry, I was at positive PCR. So again, you just type in the hey number, you search for it to be able to give you that information. Then you can be able to, of course, say there on ART client number, you can give them the CCC number, clinic number, enrollment date, ART start date, and all other information. Then you can be able to, of course, move on. Then final outcome here allows you to be able to see some various outcomes for this specific client. So you search again, then you can be able to select what was the final outcome. Did you enroll them to CCC or did you discharge them from PMTCT? So this is in case the client, you mark them as negative, you can be able to do that. So pretty much that's it in terms of the PMTCT bit. Then moving on quickly, I'll just talk about the wellness. I'll skip Eplam and web. So wellness allows you just to be able to see, of course, information in terms of any responses from the client. You can be able to get that information. So not okay will show you for the clients who said they're not doing well. Then unrecognized, of course, will be maybe a client said they're not doing well. Then further on, go and continue give you stories. Maybe the drug is affecting them in a certain way. Then reschedule here allows me to be able to reschedule a specific clients when it comes to their appointment. So in case I've made an error, I can be able to come and do a check. So they don't have any existing. If I had one with an existing, basically I can be able to check and see, okay, they don't have. So if they have any existing future appointments, I can be able to reschedule them in case I've made an error. So let me just now dive back to client registration, which is the bigger part in terms of verification of the NUPI. So this is the registration form as it is on Ushauri. So I'll click on new client. So this is, we are doing a client registration. I'll type in a specific number. It doesn't have to be a CCC number. Again, it has to be a 5-digit and MFL code 5 digits so that it can be combined to make a 10 digits. So as you can see, if I type a CCC number, it auto-populates as the serial file number. Again, you can change that if it's not the same. I can type in the name, can say test, C, then maybe Asla, then maybe K. Then come and put in the client date of birth. Again, realize if I was to say maybe the client was born in 2010, click OK, it will ask me for the birth certificate number, all right? If I was to come here and probably change that, say maybe they were born sometime, let's just pick a 22-year-old here or 21-year-old. So if I was to do that, again, as you can see, it has changed. So now it is asking me for an ID number. So if I was to type this ID number, let's say, for example, this one, then click on UPI, it will check if it has found that that ID number has no UPI number. Of course, it will now tell you to continue. It will tell you the client the client does not have any UPI number. But if it finds that client already existing in the client registry, basically it will tell you that this client is already existing, and then you just accept the UPI number and continue the process of registration. If I was to now do maybe for a new client, let's say, for example, let me add like 3 there, then come here. So as you can see, I've just added a 3 on that ID number. That client does not have any UPI. So I can click OK, then continue the process of registration. So I'll just say this is a male probably come and say a single male patient precondition. I can say they are at date of enrollment. Let's say just for example today, HIV enrollment date also today, primary phone number. So let me just put this phone number. Right, then enable SMS. You remember the part I said, if you say no, you can go back and consent them later when they come and accept SMS. So I can say yes here, or I can say no. Then I can come and do select the active grouping. I can say this one's $1, for example. Then the place of birth information, I can say that it is Kenya. So in case you have clients who are not from Kenya, you can still be able to capture the information. I can say this person comes from Bomet, for example. Place of the current residency, I can say maybe they live in Nairobi. Then I can say the sub-county, Langata, for example. Then I can say the ward, let's say, for example, Nairobi West. And then village location is not a must if they don't have that information. Then as you can see, there's a button for request for OP or submit. Again, so let me start with the request for OP. So when I click on, so I am having an issue with the name. So my last name is short. So, right. So let me go back. So if I click on request for OP, again, it will be able to get that information for me, the OP number, and give me the name as I had typed earlier, as you can see. Then I click OK. Again, as you can see now, my OP number has been registered for that specific client. So if I come back and type in an ID number with the same ID number but with a different name, again, as you had seen earlier, it will be able to just tell me that this client is already existing with these specific names. So I can say accept and then continue with the same information. So I said, in case maybe, for example, maybe when you're at the point you're registering the client, in case the client did not maybe come with the ID number or a birth certificate number, you can come just and be able to click on submit. Without necessarily requesting for OP. Then when they come back with that ID number, remember this process when I said update client, so you can click on update client and come back and just now edit the ID number place, and then you can be able to, of course, submit that information. All right. So you can go ahead without requesting for OP if there's some information that are very important in terms of the ID and birth certificate they have not provided. Then, of course, you can come back later using the update functionality and just now request for OP by entering their ID number or passport. All right. So I just wanted to mention that, and that is it for me in terms of taking us through. Thank you. Over to you, Songok.
Right. Thank you very much, Cosmas, for the demo. It was very, very critical for you to spend some time on the OP verification bit, because that's the gist of us being here today. And I think for you, it was just emphasizing on what Victor had taken us through. It was just like preparing us on what to expect during or what you have actually been able to demonstrate. So it's 6 minutes past 3. So I really do not want to belabor on what Cosmas has taken us through and what Victor had taken us through in the slideshow. Of importance for us, I think, is to appreciate the fact that for you to be able to have an account, you need to be mapped to a facility, and Cosmas has given us a guidance on that. So we need to get in touch with the with the facility guys and the Palladium team so that we can be able to we can be able to carry out this exercise, of course, tied to a facility. And thanks, Kote, for also taking time to demonstrate the other features that are available within the app. I think it's very, very important. And you also mentioned that there's still a lot of work that is going on to be able to enhance the app to enable users to carry out more in terms of patient management and patient follow-up within the facilities. So I know there were questions that had been asked on the chat, and thanks Victor and team, Otieno and the rest of the crew for responding to some of the questions. I'd seen a question from Idris. So Idris, I think his concern was the fact that we, in terms of categorizing our patients or our clients, we are still, I think within the app, we are still seeing stable and unstable. And yet, I think when you look at the new guidelines, that has been improved to only capture 2, or that has been changed to be able to capture 2. Which is established and not established. So I think Idris, to just answer your question directly, that can always be rectified, so that we are able to ensure that we align all the variables within all the digital solutions with the new guidelines. I know that the trainings are going on right now, but as it is, we will be able to align with the new guidelines. So just bear with us for now, but that will be sorted. Yeah. So let me just try to check as I look out for any hand. I'm not seeing any hand up yet, but just in case you want to speak, you can raise your hand so that you can be given a mic to probably or perhaps verbalize your question. Yeah, we'll be able to share the recordings after this. I think that's a request from Jackie Wafubwa that will be shared. John, thanks for the comments. So you're saying this is very good. It will support verification. However, Ushauri is not working from Kenya EMR and Ushauri platform even after consenting clients. So probably maybe Cosmas, you can respond to John. And I think I'd also seen a concern from one of the participants about having difficulties, especially when accessing the Ushauri platform or just making use of Ushauri platform. So probably you could speak to that. Yeah, so from Noel.
Songok, you want me to reply to that? Or
No, I'm just going to just take note of that. Just take note of that, please. From Noel, a very great session. Quite unfortunate, a number of staff have struggled with joining and ended up missing out. Oh, Paul, for that. Apologies for that, Noel. I really don't know what the challenge would have been, because we had shared the link earlier, I think on Monday or Tuesday thereabout, and we had requested that you could share with your within your circle. So we really apologize for that. Yeah, I think Otieno has responded to what Jackie had asked earlier on, and I think I'd already read that. From Saitoti, there have been a lot of challenges joining the platform. Yeah, so probably Kote, you could also speak to that. I think I'd seen quite a number. Yes, so Austin Odhiambo, do we need the Bitisha if Ushauri is working? I don't know whether Faith could be able to respond to that, and if not, if Dr. Madiva has joined, can respond to that. But Faith, if Madiva hasn't joined, you can take that up, please. Right, so yeah, and I think from Chemutai is also asking whether this is an alternative to the Bitisha. So Faith, you could respond to that. So I want to, I can see hand up. Just give me a second. Yeah, so I can see 2 hands up. from Winnie Langat. I think I can. Winnie, you can go ahead and unmute, and Alphas Obiero, you can also go ahead and unmute and ask your questions. So Winnie, you can go first, and then Obiero. Winnie?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, hello. I have a quick one. Are you getting me?
Yes, I can get you, but I can see Winnie's mic was also on, so I thought probably Winnie could go first.
This is Alphas from Narok County, Faro. My quick question was, is there any documentation after consenting the patient about anything like add copy, something that can put in a file after consenting a patient? Because how will you know that this patient agreed to be consented to receive these messages? That is one. Then number two, is this messages going to the patient in terms of a promotion message, or it will go using the facility phone number? And if it is going through a promotion message, for some people who have blocked the oral promotional messages, how will they receive these messages?
All right, thank you. Obiero, you're done? Right, thanks for those questions. I think Otieno, you could take note of that, and then you can respond to Obiero's concern about whether we have any form of documentation that would go to the patient file, and especially after consenting, and I think issues around whether it's whether they're promotional messages, and yes, so probably you could speak to that. So Winnie Langat, you can go ahead and ask your question.
You can hear me?
Yes, Winnie, go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah. So for me, it's about the Ushauri messages. I've tried in all the many sites. The messages are not going. They used to go at first. So I hope now, I don't know, the messages are not going. And if my colleagues are in this call, they are the ones who've been pushing me in terms of the messages which are not going. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Winnie. Otieno, you can also respond to that, or Kote. Any one of you, I think, should be in a position to respond. So I think we can respond to those questions, and then we'll take another round just in case there are any other. We'll also be able to look at the chat just in case there are any. Perhaps there are any questions. So we can start with Kote. Kote, go ahead and respond.
Thanks, Ngok. So I want to quickly just speak in terms of the issue of the application not functioning or having some issues in terms of the application. We realized that one, I think sometime in October thereabout. In some devices, the application was functioning, in some it was not functioning. However, we managed to be able to sort that issue, and you should be able to download the new Ushauri, the updated version of Ushauri on the Play Store. So again, the link I shared on the chat, just by clicking on it, it will be able to take you to the Play Store, and it will be able to now guide you from there. If your application is not yet updated, you can just click update, and then from there you should be fine. In case maybe you have any other issues, maybe you're still having in terms of that, kindly you can be able to get in touch with us through the help desk, and we'll be able to assist you further. But that issue was sorted out. And I think I can also maybe speak a little bit about the consenting bit. There's a consent form basically, but also will be able to add more on it. There's a consent form that basically you can be able to, we can give you a structure of a consent form, and of course through your partners you can be able to of course customize it further to be able to meet your needs for that. But there's a consent form that also you can be able to, a physical consent form, you can take the client through that, and they can be able to sign it, and you can put it within their file, to make sure that, of course, you have something to also, other than an electronic way of consenting, but also you have a form to be able to go with that. I think I've covered as many as were addressed to me. Otieno, maybe you can be able to cover the rest or any other comment. Thanks.
Thank you, Cosmos. I think you've adequately responded to the two questions that were posed on the consenting, the consent form, and also on the issue of the message is not going out. Yeah, I think for the consenting form, maybe we can find a way to avail it online, the standard consent form, so that maybe any partner can just download and then adopt as they might wish. So I think we can discuss maybe separately within internally and see how we can avail the standard consent form, the physical one, so that you can be free to download and customize it as you wish. Yeah. Thanks, and back to you, Soko.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Otieno and Cosmos, for responding to those two questions. I don't know whether, Faith, you could be in a position to respond to some of the concerns. I think the concern was, is this coming to replace the Petition platform, or are we going to use both of them concurrently? So, Faith, if you are in a position, probably you could respond to that kindly.
Maybe as he responds on the same, my second part of the question has not been answered. So just hear the response of the same. I was asking if these messages are coming in terms of a promotional message. Some of our clients have actually blocked all promotional messages. So how will they receive these messages?
Oh, so Gok, sorry, I forgot to mention that one. I can pick it up quickly, yeah? So first, when a client maybe because the way they're coming in, they're not using a phone number, they're not using 07, they're using what we call SMS shortcode, which is a 5-digit code, 4146 to be 4149, sorry, to be exact. That's the number you should be they should be expecting to receive a message from. So in case that they've blocked all marketing messages, what you usually do, you can be able to take them through that process of unblocking that shortcode only, so they can be able to go through *100 *5#. Then they can go to promotional messages, and they can say unblock a specific code. So they can type in now the 4149, so that the 4149 can be allowed to communicate to them. So I've also shared like the WhatsApp group, which you can join. I put some step-by-step in how to do that. In case you need further assistance, we can be able to still assist you through the help desk team. So yeah, but you can be able to guide them through the process of just now identifying the 4149 to be now allowed to be sending messages, so that they don't miss out on that. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Cosmos. Obiero, I don't know whether your question has been adequately addressed. Are you okay now? All right. Winnie, I can still see your hand is up. I don't know that you still have another question, or it's an old hand. I'm not certain. Okay, I guess it's an old hand, so we can proceed.
I was unmuting. So that's what I was saying. Thank you for that. And then I think what you addressed is okay. And I don't know when we reach, I don't know, there's one thing which is I'm still looking at. When we are looking at or the ones which are not the IIT, right now I'm on IIT. do we do with the IITs?
I'm not quite sure whether I've understood Winnie's question. Kote or Otieno, I don't know whether you've been able to pick up exactly what Winnie's concern is.
I think she was breaking. My side, I was not able to hear what she was asking.
Okay. Winnie, probably if you don't mind, would you repeat your question? Because I don't think I was able to clearly understand. I'm sorry.
Okay, we can catch up on that later. It was about the IITs. IITs.
Oh, okay, fine. We can catch up on that later on the site. Thank you. Thank you, Winnie. Thank you for that. All right. Thank you. Right. So I don't know whether Faith can hear me because I wanted her to respond on one of the questions that was raised on whether this feature that has been introduced in Ushauri is coming in to replace Thibitisha. Because I don't think Dr. Madiva has joined. Let me just check. Can't allow me to. No, Dr. Madiva hasn't joined. I don't know that Faith can hear me. All right, so we will consult on that and get back to you. However, what I can say for now is that in situations where you are able to use, yeah, okay, Faith, your hand is up. Go ahead, please. I don't know whether you had the question or you want me to repeat.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Please repeat the question.
All right, so the question was, so having taken the participants through the Ushauri platform, and more specifically focusing on the Ushauri, I mean, not Ushauri, the NUPI or the UPI feature within Ushauri platform. And I remember previously we had already taken them through also a demo and a process of how to carry out verification using the Thibitisha platform. So the question was, is Ushauri coming in to replace Thibitisha, or both of them will be running concurrently? Or what's actually, that's the position. I mean, that's the question. So probably if you are in a position, you could kindly respond, because I can't see Amadiva in the call.
Thank you, Songok. And I'm very happy to have Amadiva by my side. So I would like him to respond to that question. But I think the answer is we are going to use the two. Where there is Ushauri, you continue and do the verification, and even any other service you can do. Where there is the Thibitisha, you use the same platform as well. So we are not saying no Thibitisha, pick Ushauri, but we're just trying to complement and use the two at the same time. But Dr. Madiva is on the call. He can say hi and also be able to respond to that.
Yeah, thank you, Faith. And I think you've already answered that question. And probably just to explain to us, we are really trying to improve our coverage when it comes to verifying in non-EMR facilities. And we want to do that in the shortest time possible without other trainings that might probably come in. Now that people have been using Ushauri, we don't want to waste more time probably bringing them in a big event place, telling them again about the petition and all that. We want to move with speed. And therefore, none of those two applications is replacing anyone. They'll just be working hand in hand. Facilities that can only access Ushauri, they will be able to validate and verify people that are coming to their facilities. And those that are already using Thibitisha, they should go on with the process without any problems. Yes.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Ari. We missed you in the call, so thanks and karibu sana. All right. So I think that has been answered adequately. So we will be using and if you look at the mail that was sent out, the catchword here is leveraging. So that means we are just riding on the feature that is available in Ushauri to help us move towards achieving our objective of verifying all our PLHIVs. So in situations where you're able to use the Petitia platform, well and good. In situations where you feel that Ushauri is more useful to you and more helpful, then well and good. So that means the two will be running concurrently, depending on the user's choice and preference. So thank you very much, Faith and Dr. Amadiva, for your response. I don't think I have any other question. Yes, so Givimu, yes, you can go ahead and download the Petitia. Okay, that name sometimes inanichanganya kiasi. So you can still go ahead and download it. But again, depending on your preference, you can always use any of the two, and that's the reason why we've taken time to be able to capacity build you and walk you through this particular app or Ushauri. Right. So I don't think there's any other. Okay, I'm just trying to scan through and see if there's any that, because I don't want to leave any question out. Okay, Juliet, the Ushauri platform should be updated according, because from my end, booking demo clients is a challenge. The issue with phone clients should give the current number they're using for them to get the messages when updated in the. I think that has already been responded by Otieno and Cosmos. So, and you mentioned that a new one is available for you, so you can always download, and he has already shared the link. From Benjamin, for the paper-based facilities, are we registering all the pre-existing clients as new? Right. I'm not certain what that really means. For paper-based facilities, are we registering all the pre-existing clients as new? Or I seem not to really understand what Benjamin is asking.
Sangok, I can help you.
Yes, please, Doc.
Because I'm hoping that question is based on what is in the Petitia platform on pre-registrations, if I'm not wrong. And basically, these pre-registrations are not, you are not registering them as new clients per se, but remember that these paper-based facilities don't have any database somewhere like the EMR facilities for those clients. So the pre-registrations are very key in creating that database. That's one. And we are not really registering them as new clients, especially in Petitia or even in Ushauri. And of course, that I don't know. Sorry, I think I had an internet problem. Can you hear me, Songok?
Yes, Doc, I can hear you. Though we lost you for a second, but you're back.
Okay, thank you. I was saying the pre-registrations in Petitia are basically helping us with creating a database for the non-EMR facilities. Remember, unlike the EMR facilities where the database is already there and complete, we've never had anything on these clients that go to non-EMR facility somewhere. Their data only remains on paper. So before even you verify them, they come for verification. The pre-registration bit will actually help us create their database so that even at the end of the day, from our end, we can easily see these are the people that you have on ART that are active and that are active, but you didn't manage to even get all of them. So we can easily help you even in tracking. At the end of the day, we'll be able to tell you these are the people that are active in your facility, and we've only managed to have this coming. Where are these others? So at the end of the day, we'll have that database, we'll be able to track, we'll be able to have a lot to do with that database. We are not really registering them as new clients, but just to have that database at the end of the day. And this applies both for Tebitisha and even now Ushauri that we actually bringing into this. Over to you, Songok.
Thank you very much, Doc. I think I was lost there a bit, but thanks for responding. So I now understand that because you're dealing with a paper-based site, so you need to create some sort of a database within the platform. So thanks for helping me out there. So I think we are coming to the end of our session. But before then, Doc, before you go, there's a question a concern from James, that's the CHRIO Samburu. So James is asking whether there is any official communication or a circular on Ushauri app use. So I don't know whether if you could just in a minute respond to that concern from CHRIO Samburu.
Songok, I don't know if I have understood the question.
Oh, yeah. So the question is there any official communication or circular on Ushauri app use?
Thank you for that question. Because Ushauri is a platform that is already in use, and it's not a new platform that we're introducing into the HIS space when it comes to HIV programming. It's not a new platform. This is something that is already in use. It's just like the EMRs and any other HIS platform that we've had in our use. Before we started verification, we did not have a circular telling people now you can use EMR for verification, because this is an HIS product that is already approved by the Ministry of Health for use, and we are just enhancing and ensuring that it can actually help us to do that. The same applies with Ushauri. This is an approved Ministry of Health product, HIS product, that has been in use, and it's just being enhanced to actually help us with the verification. And it's nothing new that needs a circular for people to start using. It's just a continuation in terms of use. It's just like probably introducing a module in the EMR. You don't need a circular to tell people now you can start using that module. Okay.
Thank you very much, Doc. I think that's sufficient and quite clear. It is true that this Ushauri is not new. We've been using it for quite a while, especially for sending out messages. It's now that we are trying to we are enhancing it to introduce more features and more modules in it, so that because it's easy for us to leverage on this particular app and scale up EMR. So thank you, Doc, for that response. So I think we need to come to the end of our sessions today. But before then, Ajuang, I think Ajuang had an AOB, so I will give Ajuang 1 minute, and then Dr. Madiva, you can close the meeting for us. So Ajuang, you can go ahead.
Sorry, Songok, before Anthony takes over. Yeah, I think we just want to kind of make some few announcement under the AOB before we close. So actually, I think it was Anthony Ojuang, not Ajuang Bernard. It was Anthony Ojuang that had an AOB. I think we just want to share something small about the future of Ushauri and how we are working towards integrating it more with Kenya EMR, so that the issues that have been raised about non-communication between Kenya EMR through IL into Ushauri can be minimized. So at this point, I just want to maybe call Anthony Ojuang, if you are here, just to say a word as we continue.
Thanks so much, Otieno. Yes, so as Otieno has put it, there is work that has been done in integrating Ushauri with Kenya EMR. Previously, this work was only possible through the IL, but we recently introduced Ushauri module in the EMR, and it's able to basically show everything, all the communication with Ushauri. So we've been having this module in under control deployment, and I'll just request Kimonye if he's available to just share a word or two about the module, so that we can all get from him. Kimonye?
It seems Kimonye doesn't have a mic, so probably Otieno, you can give Francis Kimonye a mic. Yeah, Kimonye, go ahead.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm Kimonye Francis from University of Maryland. So basically, I'll point out quickly what Anthony has mentioned. So we have piloted the application and at the same time scaled it up. As of now, we are running this in 51 facilities, specifically in Nairobi County. So basically, the module, how it works is the automation process of the client registration, which directed to Ushauri, which has removed that bit of manual registration or picking data from IL. So with that, the application is able to pick the client details, social demographics, and other details, pushes to Ushauri. Then on top of that, also able to pick the appointment, the subsequent appointment on a client basis. So the module has 3 options, I would call them like in key features. One is the outgoing queuing bit of it. You're able to see the sent messages and LRQ. This for in terms of validation of clients which were not successfully, that were not uploaded to the Ushauri instance. So the other bit of it is it has a key feature of validation in terms of picking clients who have consented from EMR. So you're able to categorize them from the green card, such that we avoid that bit of uploading the clients who haven't consented. So in summary, I would say the module works well and it's fine working for us with a room for improvement, basically from the user feedback. Thanks and over.
Thanks so much, Francis. I think, yeah, I think I'll get. Is that Songok? Songok, I think back to you, or it's okay. Otieno. Thanks.
It's fine.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony, and thank you, Kimonye, for that. Before I return it to Songok, still under the AOP, I think there is another announcement that I think is also very important, and this regards the DQA. I'm sure Dr. Madiva or Faith will be talking much more about the planned national DQA, but from the system side, from the HIS side, we have enhanced Kenya EMR to support the exercise. So there will be a new upgrade for Kenya EMR, the version that will be supporting the national DQA. And this particular upgrade will be available on the toolkit platform. So last week we learned much about the Kenya HMS toolkit. So we encourage you to install Kenya HMS toolkit. It will be available on that channel for all the facilities. So install it and upgrade your Kenya EMR instance, and then you'll be able to have the queries that will support the national DQA. So I thought this was very important, so that we know where to find how to upgrade for as we prepare for the national DQA. But much more about the schedules for DQA, I think Faith or Dr. Madiva will be speaking much about that. Thank you, and back to you, Songok.
All right, thank you, Otieno, Francis, and apologies to Ojwang Anthony for baptizing you Ojwang. Apologies for that. Right. So I don't think I really have much to add on the discussions that we've had today. So I want to take this to Dr. Madiva so that he can probably make his closing remarks and close the meeting. So on behalf of the facilitators today, I want to most sincerely say thank you very much for creating time to attend our fourth, this should be the fourth one, I guess. Yeah, our fourth training, virtual trainings. I think we will also be able to communicate to you on the upcoming series. We had to tweak our schedule a bit to be able to take care of this very important bit. So if you look at our program initially, this was to come later, but we had to rearrange our program so that we were able to handle this week as we move towards ensuring that we carry out our verification process. So from me, thank you very much. Have a blessed evening. I want to hand it over to Dr. Amadiva, who will make his remarks and finally close the meeting for us. Dr. over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Songok. And thank you, everyone, including the Palladium team, for being here and really taking us through the updates in how we want to use Ushauri and the enhancements that are happening to just ensure that we really conform with the ever-changing HIS space. Now we are talking about verification. Tomorrow we'll be talking about something else. And therefore, this is a very dynamic space that needs updates and updating each other all the time. So, and I'm happy because people are really enthusiastic in ensuring that they get this information as much as possible, even as we are really thinking of making everyone's work easy with technology. I don't know if Anthony is in this call, Anthony Ojwang. There was a time he told me that technology is not a problem. The problem is how do you want to use it? And therefore, with that in mind, I'm hoping that we'll be able to really improve on the usage of technology to increasingly help us in solving most of the issues that we have. Of course, we are planning for a DQA that is starting next week in the 47 counties. And of course, most facilities that will be participating in the DQA are facilities with EMRs. So basically, we've sampled around 300 facilities, and I can assure you most of those facilities are EMR facilities. And of course, most of us know some counties have more EMR coverage than others. When you look at Homa Bay, for example, and all that. And therefore, of course, let me say that apart from the ASAL counties, all counties have an EMR facility that has been sampled for the exercise. So it will be important that we look at our facilities and really prepare them in terms of how the EMRs will actually help us in doing the same. As it has already been said, of course, for the EMR facilities, we are really trying to see how to automate the process. And therefore, the developers from all our EMR partners have really helped us in ensuring that that works. We might not really tell you the facilities that we are going to right now, because of course, you know, the confidentiality issues in terms of a DQA. We don't want issues whereby facilities know that we are going to their facilities next week, then they start sitting down to align their data, which might not really be the truth. So you'll be given guidance with the national team on how this will happen. I know the national team is really working on, they've worked on scripts, and they will actually reach you on what to do, because we've already discussed this with them, and we've even agreed on how that is going to happen. So you'll be reached on what to do, and even a schedule will be given. Of course, we have team leads that will be going to various counties, and they'll be working very well one with the Palladium National Team and also the implementing partners and CASCOs on the ground to ensure that the integrity of the exercise is actually maintained, and at the same time, everyone will have ample time to prepare and ensure that their facilities are actually ready for the DQA. So just as we did last year, I know we had issues here and there, and we're planning to make it easier for all of us so that we don't have a facility that will actually have a problem during the DQA exercise, or probably a county that may not have gotten information, we are going to this facility and it is too late and all that. All that has been put into consideration, and I'm very certain that even as you prepare all your facilities with the update that has been mentioned, of course, the facility that will participate in this definitely, I'm very sure by the time people go to that facility, will have been contacted to ensure that it is actually ready. And with that, allow me to end this by again thanking all of us for being patient to the end. So I don't know, Sangok, whether you had appointed someone to pray.
I hadn't, but Moses can pray for us as we close. Moses Care, if you can hear me.
Right, Franklin. So let us all believe and pray. So thank you, Father, for this wonderful session that we've had. Again, you've offered us an opportunity to sharpen the axe that we usually use to bring down the tree. And my prayer is that may all that we've gathered today not go to waste, that may it be beneficial to humanity, and especially more so our clients who are the people that we serve. I commit each and every participant that has been here to your able hands. I pray that you may take them at their point of needs, and you may, and for those that will be traveling after this, may you grant them journey mercies. I pray this short prayer, trusting and believing in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed evening. Bye.